Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Travis and welcome back to my channel. You'll notice that today we're actually looking at AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, or it's a cloud platform. And part of that is anyone working in IT today really needs to have some cloud under their belt, and they need to get started with the cloud. And what better way than AWS, because Amazon has some really great services that are available for free, and some of their other services that do cost money are actually fairly cheap. And we're going to kind of start getting into more cloud on this channel, and I wanted to kind of introduce you to the cloud with Amazon. And the first thing that we're going to be looking at today is Amazon Lightsail. And Lightsail is a platform to launch a virtual private server pre-installed with some applications. Really easy, and it's a lot faster than EC2. But we're also going to cover EC2 in a future video and how to properly set that up. But Lightsail removes some of the additional configuration, and it's just a standard virtual private server ready to go. So if you haven't already, go ahead, create yourself an AWS account. Amazon does ask you for a credit card, but if you follow my instructions and follow everything closely, it either won't cost you anything, or it's going to be really cheap, cheaper than getting a coffee from Starbucks every single day. So keep that in mind. We're going to do things as cheap as possible. And so go ahead, pause the video, and come back once you're all set with your AWS account, which you can get at aws.amazon.com. All right, welcome back. So now that you're in your AWS Management Console, you're going to see a lot of stuff going on. And don't worry about it. There's quite a bit. We'll cover it all. The one thing that you do want to do is go to Services, and you can type in Lightsail or Light, and you're going to see Lightsail, or under Compute and look for Lightsail and click on that link. It's going to open up in a brand new window just like this. And they're going to be, they see that I created a WordPress instance a while ago, and they want me to sign up for GoDaddy Pro sites. So we're going to make that go away. And I'm actually going to show you how to set up a WordPress site on Lightsail, and it's actually very easy. So what you're going to want to do is click on Create Instance here. And you're going to want to probably modify your instance location. In this case, you're creating this instance in Ohio Zone A, which is US East 2A. I would actually prefer to be in Virginia, which is US East 1. And that's just because I am located closer to Virginia than Ohio. So it just makes sense. Virginia, US East 1. Availability Zone A is perfect. And under Linux Unix, we're going to select WordPress. If we do want just a standalone virtual machine or virtual private server running one of these flavors of Linux or BSD, we can do that. Or we can have an app plus an operating system, which will give us, a bunch of different options here. So we're going to select WordPress. And this is going to give us the operating system plus WordPress pre-installed. We won't have to configure anything. So it's a great way to just get up and running. We're going to deal with all this later. And we're going to select the $3.50 per month option. This gives us 512 megabytes of RAM, 1 virtual CPU, 20 gigabytes of SSD storage, and 1 terabyte of data transfer. And it's free for the first month. So as long as you just have this for 30 days or 750 hours, it is free. It's not going to cost you a thing. We can go ahead and name our instance. In this case, WordPress 1 is fine. And one of the things that it's a good habit to get into, and I highly recommend you do it, is add some tags. And I like to add key value tags. And that's where we have a key. And I'll type in application WordPress. And I'll add a tag site demo.com. So that way, when I'm querying things or I'm visually looking at things, I know exactly what this instance is and what it does. And once you've done that, go ahead and create instance. And it's going to take a few minutes for this instance to get all set up. So we'll just refresh here. See, it's still pending. So we just have to wait a few minutes. All right, and you can see that the WordPress instance has launched. It's running. We have an IP address, and you can see it's in Virginia Zone A. It's running 512 megabytes RAM, 1 vCPU, and 20 gigs SSD. So if we click on it, we're going to see that we can connect to it over SSH either through our browser, or we can also connect through our own SSH client. And we'll deal with this later. But primarily, we're going to be connecting through the browser. Now, SSH takes a few minutes to get up and running because we did just start this, so it's going to yell at us. However, we'll come back to it. Under storage, this is where we can add additional storage. And we can see our system disk, but we're just going to leave this alone. Under metrics, we can see what's going on with it. We'll see different graphs here once the machine has been on for a while. Under networking, this is where we can create a static IP. This works just like a DHCP address on your home internet. So if you've ever ran a server from home, you know that every time your modem reboots, chances are you probably get a different IP address. Same thing in AWS. If I click on stop and then we start the VPS up, I'm going to have a different public IP address. So if you're going to be hosting a website on this that you're going to regularly use, you want to create a static IP. And what we need to do is attach it to an instance. And static IPs are free only while attached to an instance. So that means if you just create a static IP address in Lightsail, it is going to cost you money. However, once that IP is attached to an instance or a virtual machine, it doesn't cost you any money whatsoever, up to free, or up to 5. And then we can identify your static IP. In this case, I'm going to call this WordPress static IP. And we'll click on create. And here's our static IP address. So you'll notice that the IP actually changed. And here's where we can either detach it, which means we would have to pay for this address. But as long as it remains attached, we don't have to. And if we decide that we no longer want this static IP and we want to go back to a DHCP address, we can delete the IP address from here. But this also means that this static IP is going back into the availability pool, and somebody else can get this IP address. We're probably never going to see this IP address again. So let's go back home, and let's go back to our WordPress instance because it is probably launched. And we're actually going to take our static IP, we're going to copy it, and we're going to go to our web browser and we're going to paste it in. And you can see WordPress is up and running. If we go to HTTPS, we have a default certificate. Edge doesn't like it, but that's all right. So we'll go back to HTTP. And you can see down here in this corner, we have this little icon. And this is just Bitnami telling us how we can gain access to our application, in this case WordPress. So the username is user, and the password's created on first boot, and we need to follow these instructions on how to receive the password. So let's open this. And then you'll see that we have some more information about how to access PHPMyAdmin, system access data, and if we need help, and how to disable this page. So let's go ahead and just log into the admin console. Oops. Username. And now we need to go back to the Lightsail console and connect to SSH. All right. Let me just move this out of the way. To find the application credential, because we're not using an AWS AMI, this actually won't do us any good. We need to go to option 2, and we need to run the following command: cat space /bitnami_credentials, and we're just running the cat command. All right, and here is the password. So I'm going to highlight that so I can copy it. Going to log in, paste. There we go. We're at our dashboard. And now we can start blogging. We can go to Appearance. We can install a new theme. Let's see, what's a good theme? $2015 is a good one. We'll go ahead and install that. We'll activate it. We can go to our plugins. We can add a new plugin. I like the classic editor. We'll activate that. All right. So if we go to posts, add new. Let me publish it. There we go. There's our blog now on AWS Lightsail. So from here you can go through and kind of customize things, create your own WordPress site. You can follow the instructions here about Bitnami to lock down your virtual machine, and add a Let's Encrypt SSL certificate to protect or to get you on HTTPS. And yeah, so if you have any questions about AWS Lightsail and getting up and running with it, go ahead, drop them down in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them as time permits. And I look forward to us being able to explore more of the cloud in the next video. So be sure to hit that subscribe button just so that way you don't miss another video. And hope you all have a great and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.